Okay, this video is about Emacs and a package I maintain that can be used to alter how Emacs works. I'm just gonna start up Emacs and I'm gonna choose a theme and yeah. Let me just open it's called evil-emacs-cursor-model-mode, and that's what it does. It makes evil have the Emacs cursor in normal state. Well, normally evil works with two different kind of cursor models, and this kind of unify it to one cursor model. So if I press I, this is what this is how evil has a cursor model in insert state, where it is between A and C here, and then evil normally have its cursor model in normal state such that this cursor is considered on top of C, the letter C. It's actually not on top of C because I have this evil cursor model on. So if I go to the end of the word, in evil mode it would go to S, but here it just go past S because it's kind of the left edge of this box cursor that is the placement of the cursor. And if you see, if I go end, then it goes to the end instead of to the last character. So and if I, for example, if I DE here, it will leave two spaces because it's deleting to the end. And if I let me go 0. I will now use to and find. So first I'm gonna see what happens if I use T, that TE for example. It will go to the E character. Normally in evil mode it will go here because it includes R in the 2 in evil mode. And if I go FE, then it goes past E because it needs to include E if I, for example, D, F, E, then it needs to include, and with the cursor model as it is in this mode, I have to go past E to include E in this delete. That's the motions. I need to find some parentheses there. Here, if I have percent sign, it works like this. It's outside, just in front of the parentheses, and it's outside behind the parentheses. And everything, almost everything, works out of the box. So now the cursor, you can consider it as between the dash and the E in this mode. It becomes a good idea to change a few keybindings, because some of the key bindings are not obvious. If I have, now I will artificially show you what happens if I press A in Vim. Then it goes into insert mode at the back end of the cursor. But that's not really a thing in this mode. So the normal small a will do this, which is still useful. It will enter insert mode at the insert state at the end of the line. The capital A, you're very free to rebind it, because once you've used the mode a while and only see the cursor as on the left side of the character that is highlighted, that's in the box, then you don't use A more. If you need A, you need to enter insert state. Let me go somewhere. If you need to enter insert state after the U here, then you go LI, because that's the logical thing to do once you've adopted this idea that the cursor is actually on the left side of the C in this instance. When you kind of, I never use this capital A unless I used it here to illustrate that it's still bound, but the A is bound to the end of the line insert state. Once you have that, then let me yank this word. Once you have that, then it becomes natural to also look at P and even O. P normally inserts things after the cursor and after the line. I have swapped capital P and P, so it's before the cursor. And actually I only use one paste command. As almost all other editors, I only use one paste command. Evil's need for two paste commands can almost be seen as a compensation for its unusual cursor model. So I only need one paste command because that's what I need. If I copy this line, then when I press P, it copies it to the line I'm on. So it doesn't copy it to the line after. It copies it. Let me go down here. Now I have two lines copied. It will come in over the lighter there. And if I press capital P, I can put it after, but I never use that because it's much easier to work with one paste command. So if I want to do that, I will press JP, and it's the same efficiency because now I don't have to use shift. I have to use J, but I don't have to use shift. To make the open line command consistent with this, I also have O to open above the line or on the line I'm currently on. So capital O will open the line after, but I never use that because the logical thing is that everything works with the current line nugget. Evil almost already have this a bit. It has that find and to only work on the current line, and there's a lot of key bindings that only work on the current line. And I think it's easier and simpler to simply work with the current line with all my commands. And if I want to perform a command on another line, I use a motion. And it's the efficiency of this is equivalent because I don't need to use shift or a shift layer to do the stuff. So it's weakly fewer key bindings when working with the current line, because, for example, A, that's a small letter A, where that would be a capital A letter in evil mode. So there's a weakly fewer key presses when working with the current line, and there's weakly fewer when working with the next line. But the whole modal approach is about working with editing text, i.e. changing the current line, adding new text is kind of working with other lines, and that is not the focus of editing with this mode. So I have these three key bindings I change, and all the motions are changed so it works. Now I'm gonna talk about problems with the mode. If I have, I already showed you that I can toggle back and forth between these parentheses. But if I have like this, then I can still toggle, but I can only toggle back because now which set of parentheses is this cursor pointing at? It's pointing between them, so it's not pointing at any of them. So it will only work with the second set of parentheses. I can't really toggle back and forth with the second set of parentheses. It will only work on the first set of parentheses. So and that will be no problem in evil, because evil, you're on top of this parenthesis, so it will toggle back and forth between those, and if you're there, you're on top of the first set of parentheses, and you can toggle back and forth between those. That's a thing you lose by using this mode. You can use Emacs tools or something to still work. Let me find, let me just do it here. There's another problem, and that is that the mode does nothing so far to Control V or visual block mode. Visual block, I don't remember the name, but it's this where you can kind of mark a block, and you can see already on the cursor it's in a strange spot. It's marking a strange spot. If I go into visual mode, it works perfectly with and if I can kind of swap back and forth here, but it works in visual mode, and I also work in visual line mode. If I have Shift V, then it works fine. But Control V, the mode hasn't done anything to this. So now the motions that I had earlier that was so nice works against me, because if I go E here, it will go to the wrong place. If I go E, I should only markup until and including the L, and that so it's a little buggy, and but I can still use stuff like capital E to say Vim, and then oops, I didn't want to do that. But if I press escape here, it will insert Vim on both lines. So it still works with multi-cursor, like a quick and dirty multi-cursor equivalent thing. This, and if I, for example, I can delete it and so on. But it's still strange that the cursor is suddenly on top of characters again. So that's a problem, and I don't know if I can go up here. I have this evil visual block, it's called, and that's something that I will probably at some point, or maybe someone else will look at that and have it begin working. But besides that, it's still it works perfectly with all the motions, and you have the Emacs cursor model and the evil modal system, a modal framework, where you have this L, H, J, K, L things and all the bindings. I have a few personal bindings, so if you've seen something strange, then it's because I have, but that's outside this mode that I do a bit of personal customization. So yeah, that's it. I don't know. It's available. Where is it available? At this. Where is that? Here. This. Back and me and there. This. What do you call it? URL. There you can find the cursor model, and you can download it and install it with package install buffer or whatever you prefer. I am submitting it to a repository at the moment, but I don't know how long that will take or whatever. But that's kind of my demonstration of this evil-emacs-cursor-model mode, where you get the Emacs cursor model in evil mode. So you get all the goodies from the modal framework, but you don't. And the thing is, it's much easier if you don't use it, your editor every day, because it's a familiar cursor model. So you come back to it, you only have to focus on the modal key bindings. You don't have, you're not distracted by a different cursor model when you work with it. That's it. Let me go here and stop.